push it, push it, push it, push it.
So what this is the back room with SirJ and friends. Want to hold down a conversation with the homies and see how they felt about certain things. The topic is Bill O'Reilly. Y'all know who that is?
Yeah.
Bill O'Reilly put out, he was on CNN talking to Russell Simmons about Beyonce. And Russell Simmons was there to like push his new book, blah, 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 blah. But Bill O'Reilly, who's apparently like mega racist or whatever to a lot of people, I've only heard a bunch of niggas say that he's racist. I don't know that like white people
racist.
Say, is he racist?
No,
I don't know.
A whole bunch of niggas saying.
But that's who I always hear complaining about them being racist or whatever. Anyway, he was saying Beyonce, knowing that she's like a freaking mogul, like she's a huge aspiration and role model to kids, like why would she put out an album that's so sexual or whatever? You know, knowing that little girls are looking at her or whatever. And of course, Russell Simmons, I don't think is a believer, so his answer was pretty generic, and of course supportive of Beyonce or whatnot. And so I kind of thought that a Christian perspective should be kind of put on Christianese right there, Christian perspective. But I thought there is nothing out that kind of explains how Christians really feel about that, like, or how a Christian person thinks, like. It may not be all soupy, you know what I mean? Well, I believe that the strength of the Lord has called power against things like Beyonce. You know what I mean? Like, it don't have to be that deep. Like, I believe there may be some Christians who are kind of for what Beyonce is doing and support it. There are some that may not be, and, you know, I just wanted to talk about it. And are you a Beyonce fan?
I enjoy her art. I would not say I'm a fan of necessarily her life or, like, the messages I enjoyed the art that she's one of the very few artists that I respect that's actually putting quality out that I can listen to a whole album of hers and not be like, that's trash.
She can't dance though.
She can't dance, bro. Yeah. She can't dance. Drunk and Love proved that. But
dang.
You know, like before this album, like the albums before that, like 4 or something like that, I enjoy the quality of her music because I'm not listening to Hillsong all day. I'm not listening and I'm not singing praises unto the Lord all day. So I enjoyed what she was putting out. But this album, I would say, is probably the most.
I'd say it's for the married.
It's for the good and married.
It's for the good.
Praise the Lord. Because if you not, you get in that flesh real quick. And I mean, just from her videos, I was just like, you know, hello, nigga, you ain't in the club yet. But I don't know. I would say personally, I was disappointed.
Really? So you didn't think it was right for her to put that out?
It was not necessarily. I think what really caught me off guard was how explicit she was and intentional she was with in an interview. She said, I was intentional in being sexual in this video. Just for the simple fact that she had a child. And so she's trying to make and declare a statement that you can have a baby and still come back strong. But I'm like, one of your songs is Pretty Hurts. And what you're saying is, from a societal point, whatever society says about beauty, that's false. You know, one of her lyrics is, it's the soul that needs the surgery. In fact, our souls do need surgery. That's why we have the Lord. But I'm like, throughout the entire album, the majority of the album, you're pushing societal beauty standards on these women subliminally. So it was like, it was a huge contradiction.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, where do you stand? Was that just art, or were you really intentional about this? Because if that was the case, your album isn't saying that.
I'm with you. Another point that was brought up in, because I'm 50-50 on whether I think she should have put an album, whether I think she's wrong for putting an album like that out. I'm kind of 50-50 on it because the point was brought up that she's not considering kids that when they hear that, their first thought is not, oh, she's married and she's doing all this with her husband and all of that good stuff. Yeah, they think it's surfboard. You know what I'm saying? I want to be the what's the lyric? I want to be the type of girl you like or something like that. Like I just want to be the type of girl you like or something like that. Not I got a niece that's like 13, and so when I imagine her singing that song, I'm positive that she don't think first off like, yo, I want to get married and be the type of girl my husband likes. I'm pretty sure she's applying that to some little nigga in middle school with her or something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you
don't drop the thump Munch. If you're watching this, don't drop the thump. Yeah.
Speaking of the whole, I guess the whole content issue of should she have done it or not. Like one thing I noticed, like when I was younger, like you listen to the old school love songs, you had no idea, like
exactly.
You know what I'm saying. You had no idea what they were talking about.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying. Even though they were talking about getting it in, just you know, like I didn't figure out what they were talking about till I got 18. You know, so it's like, but now kids that's like you said, 12, 13, whatever, like exposed to just the raw, explicit, just. Surfboard or whatever.
So is it not the fact that she put out an album talking about sex with her husband, but more so how she communicated the sex with her husband?
Because I think it's fine. I think it's fine that, you know, like she a grown woman, she you know, whatever, and she married, so it's like I feel like you can do that, but you gotta have that balance where it's like, okay, where do I draw the line between making this content explicit where adults know what I'm talking about, like the whole sex stuff, you know, adults know what I'm talking about, but not making it too explicit with kids, you know, little girls. Like I got a cousin, she's like 15, you know, something. I don't want her to going around saying surfboard and she don't even know what it means. You know, so it's like
I'm 22 and I didn't know what surfboard was. But
I'm still trying to figure out watermelon. There's some ideas that I ain't too fond of.
So. My whole thing was I had a discussion with Tim about it too. That I didn't think a lot of people are arguing that she's
just started again.
A lot of people are saying that you know, she's married and it's okay for her to do that. But when you look at her video, like she touching and caressing on herself and rubbing up in the sand, like it has nothing to do with her enjoying sex with her husband. It's about her pretty much glorifying sex and causing someone to lust with her. Yeah, pretty much herself.
Could a gospel R&B artist do the same thing? Because as some of y'all know, like Christian Grey, he has an album coming out called School of Roses. I feel like if anybody was going to like run the R&B scene for you know, the kind of Christian arena or whatever, it'd be Kristen. You know what I mean? JR had some tracks before that's kind of, you know what I mean? The dedication. That was like in our wedding. We danced to that song. So that mug is pretty real. 83 has some stuff that's kind of like, I think I'm in sin, you know what I mean? Like it's, but do y'all think a Christian Grey or a gospel artist or Christian R&B artist could do that? Like,
I think that'd be dope.
I think it'd
that
be
talk
dope
about
too.
the sexuality with his wife.
Oh,
I think
Like, is that
it
wrong?
would be a first. I don't think it would.
I don't think it'd be.
That's how you
I would listen to it.
I do it.
I would listen to it and I would enjoy it, but I don't know. I think that's just kind of like our whole like take. Well, they can't do this either. But why?
I think I think it'd be good.
Double
like
standard.
And go ahead and put, you know, Songs of Solomon in there, like her breasts are like two fawns. Go ahead, and you don't tackle fawns, by the way.
You will not do this.
You don't tackle
You're gentle
fawns.
with fawns.
Yeah, you're gentle with fawns. You don't attack
What's a
fawns,
fawn?
by the way, fellas.
It's a baby deer.
It's a baby deer. You don't attack
I
a
will
baby
kick
deer.
a baby deer.
But he's making a
You're
comparison of the woman's breast being like fawns, like
be
soft,
gentle and
caress,
soft, yeah.
You have to be effective in communicating that this is a covenant relationship.
Yeah, always reiterate that.
My wife,
He said a
my
covenant.
rib, you know, just.
But what if not? What if he just singing about how he loves his wife? Now,
And he doesn't say the word wife? Well, we know.
No, I'm saying that he doesn't put it out there. Yeah, this is about my wife or whatever. Well, I guess that's kind of hard not to, because if it's your wife, you're gonna say something like,
you better mention me.
I mention Jaleesa as my wife all the time, just cause.
You don't?
I mean,
wait a minute.
No, I'm saying anytime I'm talking about her or sex or whatever, it's gonna be obviously with my wife. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm never just as a person, not
That was what they
let
girl
alone
down the
as a
street
Christian.
last
Yeah,
week.
I'm never just like, yeah, bro, I was hitting it yesterday.
No, I'm saying,
you know
like,
what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
I'm saying, like, as far as artists, like, some artists be married, don't say a thing about
yeah,
their wife.
yeah, true.
Yeah.
But I wonder if there are any Christian artists. Yeah. It'd be kind of hard though, because if you say, you know, last night in intimacy with her, you know, people gonna wonder who her is, and then
I figure
My
if they
main.
know that you're married and
my
they
main
see,
shit.
they see, you know, your son or your daughters or whatever, and your wife at concerts, then they're gonna know, oh, okay, that's who she was talking about. But they make a lot of references, like, you know, mother of my kids, or they say, you know, my rib or my right hand. They say stuff like that. I don't know too many, even in the secular world, I don't know too many people who just say her. They say, you know, I met this girl or this groupie or my main or my...
That hoe over there, ain't that what
Thought.
thought stands for? Little
That
thotty.
thought over
When
there.
I saw that
That hoe
mess
over
is
there.
I said
hilarious.
people just be making up stuff
Ain't
for
nothing but
no
little thought.
reason.
They had a picture of this girl that said things to get a thought for Christmas, and at the bottom it said gift card to City Trends. God,
Stop.
I died.
Y'all know
I mean,
how,
that's
like,
hilarious.
you know, Cray had the sacrifice song on Church Clothes?
Mhm.
He's talking about, and it ain't nobody's business what we do between the sheets.
Yeah, that was
It's-
Buttons, I think. Oh no,
No,
that was
that
sacrifice.
was special.
Special.
But, like, that whole song, he's being very, like, passionate, you know what I'm saying? But he's not giving details into their actual sexual.
Yeah.
Keep the marriage bed pure and sacred. Shine a mind.
Come on, wisdom.
I mean, obviously, you
Overload
know that
Sunday.
people are married couples are having sex, fruitful. Hello,
Why you
but
saying that?
I mean, there's to a certain degree that you can just be like respecting couples like who aren't necessarily like explicit with. There are some who are, there are some who don't, but I think there's just a
That's picking it up.
sweet thing about when a marriage is just like, because obviously it's more than the act of sex.
Right.
It's just them becoming one beyond.
Act of
physical.
worship.
So, yeah.
Shit, boo.
Yeah, so I'm just like, it can be said without being said, because it's glorifying to the Lord, and it can just be like something you don't have to say.
Man, he be
Because you can
pleased.
just be like, she's shining, bro. And
She's got that glow.
she's got that glow. That
Soul glow.
that
Watch
I
out.
just got married
Right.
and I'm enjoying myself glow, and that's fine.
Amen for the glow.
JR had a song that in that dedicated song he was like, "Won't you come a little bit closer? Let me show you how I feel."
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what's
Alright.
up.
And he said stuff like that,
Right. No, so when you said that line, I was like, well, we all know what he's talking about.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
yeah. Yeah. Women like to hear that. Oh, really? Me? Okay.
And then you got to think about, like, a lot of Christian artists have kid fan bases, but like, I mean, Craig said something one time, he was like, there's a responsibility on the parents to know, you know, just because it's Christian, don't give it to your kids. Like, there are Christian topics that are still reserved for grown-ups. And just not everything Christian is necessarily a 5-year-old doesn't need. Like, you say he don't let his son listen to every track on Church Clothes. You know what I'm saying? Or his daughter, she didn't listen to certain tracks on Church Clothes. Not because it's, like, evil or nothing like that, but that's not content for a kid to hear. So it's a responsibility of the parents.
I agree with that. I wouldn't let my 5-year-old listen to Thizzle. Like, what's a trap, Mom? Wait a minute. Where did you hear that? Did you hear that from your father? Go ask him.
Yeah.
I would definitely let my kids listen to Thizzle.
I want mine to just come in turned up. Just
Oh, snap. I will
Mom, what's
surely.
Molly?
What?
Oh,
Why are you
man.
sweating?
Why are you asking?
Why are you sweating?
Listen to this. Flame got a track called Entertainment Paradox, and it kind of provoked my thinking. We can talk about it. I'm going to let y'all hear it.
I thought we were
Right.
done.
Have you ever found yourself wanting something you know you shouldn't want? Like, sometimes I feel like Smeagol, like just, I wonder when we watch a movie, why do we trip at the villain? The mean-spirited criminal doing all the killing, who was casually sabotaging the family, the one who was robbing, stabbing, and kidnapping the children. You know it's true, why do we root for the bad guy? We only really do it in a fictional film, cause we don't like in real life, we despise who take lives, but in the fictional realm, I guess we make an exception. Maybe the director presents deception and show the bad guy from a different perspective, and got us all warped and calling into question all good morals and all good ethics. And when the movie done, it all will exit. There's a paradox that all is left with, like Diego and Shakespeare's Othello. See, it's something about entertainment that makes you set aside your worldview. And the root for the bad guy, even though it goes against your morals and your ethics. It's crazy, right? I heard about a movie when the woman was really in love. Head over heels love like hand in a glove. She was only 24, he was only 25 when the guy caught her eye, they met in the club. Taking things real slow, still sober. Good girl, good head on her shoulders. Plus the dude really cared, it was really there for her. Can't ignore that it really did adore her. He came over, took her solo. She was feeling depressed, needed a shoulder. Now we tryna meet her need, but he weakened in the knees cause she begging him to please come and hold her. Now they hugging underneath the kissing. Pause, now you're in a weird position. I know it's just a movie, but what are you wishing? Do you feel conflicted? Do you feel conviction? See, sometimes you catch yourself in that moment cheering for immorality, wanting the guy and the girl to hook up, even though it goes against Christian principles. All I'm saying is, guard your heart.
So, input, thoughts.
I'm still
Nigga
watching
said,
Scandal.
I'm still watching
I'm
Scandal.
still watching Scandal.
No, I don't think he was like rooting or commenting against like people watching certain stuff. Like I feel like you got the freedom to watch whatever the hell you want to watch or whatever. But like naturally, I think he was just on to something. I don't think that song is like purposed to convict somebody a certain way. Like, oh, I gotta start watching this show. Oh, when I watch this show, I can't root for Olivia Pope anymore. I gotta root for. Is there anybody good in Scandal?
Blake.
David.
Rosen.
David Rosen.
That's the only nigga that's lawful in the whole thing. Like, it's the only person that's like
He's
all
scared.
about the law.
This now.
Yeah, he kind of crooked now. He in some stuff.
So we're gonna talk about the show.
The whole point.
Real quick. John Piper, he said something about. He was
Speak up a little bit.
John Piper was saying that. He was saying on a YouTube video, you can look it up, talking about entertainment. He was saying that if you find yourself in like the movie theater, and it's just the movie is full of just cussing and full of just sex, you gotta ask your heart, why is this enjoyable to me? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, is this, as a Christian, as a follower of Christ, should this be enjoyable to me? And so,
yeah, I'm not down for it. I mean, because then it comes to a point where, like, dang, this is making me struggle. Like, you have to really think of, like, okay, obviously, in seeing a rated R movie, it ain't gonna be yeah, let's be friends.
Shit, you watch a cartoon now, nigga.
Yeah,
cartoons
but this should be like, okay, what part of which is there a cap to where that there's actually. One of my friends said he went to go see a movie, or I forgot what movie it was. Oh, he went to go see About Last Night. He said
it was rough.
It was
good.
Too much.
It was too much.
Last night?
He said, I ran to the car. You know, and stuff like that. It's like, dang, we just have to be mindful and use wisdom about, like, okay, if I watch too much of this.
So would you say it's just an individual, just your conscience?
Individual, know yourself, know your relationship with the Lord, and be like, okay, but also know yourself. Like, be real. Like, what makes you tick? If that make you tick, then you probably shouldn't watch it.
Yeah.
That's true, because I've seen a lot of movies. Like, for example, we were watching American Hustle yesterday, and it just seemed like F-bomb after F-bomb. Even though I was uncomfortable watching it for a little bit, because one, the movie wasn't all that great. I don't understand how you got 10 Grammy nominations. But anyway.
That's great.
Anyway.
Tragic.
I was just like, you know, I didn't turn it off because, one, we had rented it. So I was like, I paid $1 for this. I'm going to watch it.
Dang on right, we paid $1 for it.
So, it was that, yeah, I kind of felt like I didn't like it, so I probably wanted to turn it off. But we also had guests, so it was another reason I didn't turn it off.
It was free, though. We got a code.
Oh, yeah, we did get a code. But either way.
Y'all ain't paying no dollars for that.
Holy justified sin.
So y'all lying now?
God ain't pleased with none of this.
None of it.
Like, I'm a film major, and so, like, they constantly are making us watch movies that are very explicit. Mm-hmm. And there's like, it's already a godless UNT already.
Yes, it is.
And so, like,
Forsaking
and if you want to stay above and knowing about films and knowing about like every movie that's nominated for an Oscar is
trash.
Yeah, it's like.
Except Gravity.
No,
except Gravity. But yeah, pretty Gravity was pretty good. But every movie is like American Hustle or Wolf of Wall Street. Like, people just, you know, if I want to stay on top, I got to know these directors and I got to know these actors, and their movies are just full of trash. So that's why I want to go in there and do good art without, you know, that trash.
Sex sales.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. Or
just cussing. Like, why do you need 560 F-bombs? What's the point?
I think you can be in that industry and make a difference. The same person who made the, even though it wasn't, you know, as accurate, he made the, I don't know if you guys watch the History Channel, the Bible, that came out.
Downey.
Yeah, the same guy, he's the producer of that, he's a Christian, but he's also the same guy who does The Voice. I don't know if you guys watch that TV show, so I think you can be in that industry and try, you know, to bring light to that dark place. I don't think
the Bible series wasn't as accurate as it should.
Yeah, that's what I was told. You know, more for like
dramatized.
Yeah.
See, so that's another question. I got a question for y'all. So people will see the Bible or they see the Son of God movie, and I'm like, that was so inaccurate and blah 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 blah. And I get on one point, but where's the other point of saying like, man, God could use this movie to save 200,000 people. You know what I'm saying? Like we get so mad at they missed this particular part, but they show the death, resurrection, and burial of Jesus Christ. And so,
which is what the main thing.
Which is the point. And then so and not saying that they should have did it better. Shouldn't have done it better, but I mean, like, God can use that. That opens up that conversation opens up like a million conversations that from just watching that movie, even if it was a little off.
I mean, I think and to really see like if they were really intrigued and like saved at that moment and the conversion took place, like they'll actually go to the word themselves and be like, okay, you know, I could see where they dramatized that a little bit. But I like the movie God's Not Dead. Yeah. It's actually like a fictional.
Oh, that came out already?
It came out Friday,
yesterday. I want to see
that. I do too.
Is it in theaters?
I want to see that movie.
I'm not sure
it just comes out to tape.
Okay.
What'd you say?
Direct to DVD.
Yeah. Nah, I'm not gonna
but I really enjoy that because number one, I hope it's playing here because Denton is like a college town.
Yeah.
And we as believers, and especially in my classes, I feel like at times you just have to defend your faith. And I think it's a reality, even though it's a non-fictional story. I mean, it's a fictional story, but the reality of it is real.
Yeah.
So I think it's.
I love to do a film like that. Yeah. That'd be dope.
They're the same people that did Fireproof, which was pretty good. Which I heard too. It was good too.
Yeah, so is Passion Christ 2, the bootleg edition. It's called Rapture.
Okay.
You haven't seen it yet?
No. I'm trying to be
going down.
Cool. Well.
And cut.